They found the reason for your pain that will be able to be treated.
They did?
Yes.
They really did? You're
Yes.
not lying to
No,
me.
that's
They
what-
found it.
Yes, that's what Dr.
They
Bacala said.
found it.
Yes.
Finally.
Hi, I'm looking to make an appointment for a mammogram as a wheelchair user. Do you know if your facilities can accommodate me?
Can you please hold? Let me go ask.
Unfortunately, no, we don't have that kind of accessibility.
No, unfortunately.
Are you able to stand?
Unfortunately, we're not able to do that at this moment.
I want to ask you a question. How do you feel about talking to your doctor about chronic symptoms or pain you've experienced? How do you feel trying to describe something that has been bothering you for so long? To me, that doesn't sound very comfortable. It kind of sounds a little awkward and maybe scary. Many women who have experienced some kind of chronic pain or disability express feeling unsafe with their doctors for so many reasons. Their issues are blatantly ignored and disregarded. This issue is such an important thing to discuss. Women continue to suffer in silence and alone because of a lack of information and a lack of knowledge and so many other things that I plan on discussing here. I would like to note before I continue on with this video, I do have an essay that has been written that's way more in-depth and explains things a lot better than I might explain them here. It will be linked, so feel free to go look at that. Maybe watch this and read it if you really want to, but either or is perfectly fine. This section is going to be much shorter than the rest and way more to the point, I hope. Put simply, finding valid information on women's health is very difficult. In doing my own research, I found that there were way more research papers and resources that actively discussed the lack of research that is done on women who have or are suspected to have disabilities. There are plenty of people who discuss their experiences and symptoms on the internet, but that isn't really considered valid research. A lot of the information that I found really discussed women who might have disabilities, but there isn't research regarding those disabilities, or women who are mothers and how to continue on with their disabilities as mothers. There isn't really much research specifically looking into women and their disabilities. It's kind of all over the place and not really to the point. Going into more detail, explaining the lack of research, actually finding that information is really difficult. I can't really search what does it mean when I have a migraine every day and I see little spots, or my joints hurt for no reason, because those issues are way too broad, or possible answers are put behind paywalls on research websites. It's so difficult to find valid information. Some healthcare professionals lack an extensive amount of knowledge and information on very important issues that women tend to deal with. This leads to doctors misdiagnosing or writing off symptoms, and women continue to struggle. It can take some women years to see even the slightest amount of progress in diagnosing and treating the problem that they're dealing with, and at that point, they might already be exhausted and tired and given up on trying to find an answer. From what I have found, the biggest issue that people tend to discuss is experiences with their actual healthcare professionals. Many women have talked about feeling like their issues aren't taken seriously or as important. Their problems are often written off as things like menopause, anxiety and depression, or even the menstrual cycle. These women are going in circles trying to figure out what's wrong with them, only to be told that they're simply obese.
I take the ball, I bounce it, I shoot, I miss it.
Rather than actually looking into these concerns, healthcare professionals tend to ignore and or write them off, when women could be dealing with something much more serious or simply something that affects their day-to-day lives. This issue does not stop after the diagnostic process. Women continue to struggle with things like accessibility and even governmental disability support. there is a large amount of ignorance and gap in knowledge that really only affects the women that are struggling and no one else.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
Moving on, I would like to note that I will include the accounts of the TikToks that I've used in this video so far and further on. I will also be adding resources and accounts of other TikTokers that I have personally found to be helpful in discussing their own struggles and their own health issues, as well as giving some advice and help. I know it might seem a little silly to use TikTokers rather than actual researched articles, but I've found that it's a lot easier to find that kind of information, and it's really comfortable to have that information coming from someone with some sort of familiarity. So that will be at the end of the video. These issues are so extremely important to discuss. The doctor's office should never be an unsafe place. Women's health should not continue to go unnoticed. I am a person who has just started their journey in getting their disabilities discussed medically. It's a long and stressful process. It's hard to exist and feel like I can fully enjoy life because I miss out on so much simply due to my disability. I often feel like I'm being overdramatic or even worry that it might just be in my head. I deeply fear that my issues won't be taken seriously or that I'll be seen as lazy and maybe even crazy. The process is a lot scarier than it should be for reasons that shouldn't be issues. I'm not afraid that my disability will forever influence my life. Instead, I am afraid that doctors won't take me seriously or that I'll be told that I'm lying or being dramatic. I don't fear that I will eventually succumb to my illness, but that I will never have a proper explanation for the issues that exist in my body, and I will never be believed. Women should never be afraid to speak up. No one should ever have to worry about whether or not their health will be taken seriously. And even so, this problem continues to exist when there are so many things that could be done to fix it. I know this topic is really serious and it might be kind of scary to confront, but it's an important topic to discuss nonetheless. And I would really like to thank you for being here and staying and listening to me talk about this really intense issue and struggle that's existed for so long and that it shouldn't exist anymore. So thank you for watching, and I really appreciate you being here.